Testing. Good afternoon, Greg. Greg, can you hear me?
There you go. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got to turn the volume up though.
All right.
I can't hear you that well. Okay, how about now, Greg?
I can hear you great.
All right, cool. All right, you're good now. Let me
Okay.
get back to where we're going. All right, Greg, well, first off, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to, I understand you got a big operation up there. What I wanted to show you is a little bit first about what we do for real estate agents, and you'll see a natural progression as to what we're doing for recruiting. Okay, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Little background. I've been doing this for 19 years. I built the first ever electronic newsletter for agents when I was with a company called Know the Neighborhood, or eNeighborhoods, down in Philadelphia. And I've been doing this, like I said, 19 years, helping agents only with email marketing, trying to build top of mind awareness and everything else that needs to be done. So what we do for agents is we get them organized. You know as well as I that most of your agents don't have a clean, reliable current database. So at minimum, that's what we do on day one when we work with agents, is build them a brand new database. We'll show you that in a couple slides. And then we deliver content and widgets and things that are relevant and useful, as in home ownership as opposed to real estate. We keep agents, excuse me one second, I got a coughing.
Yeah, no
Drinking
worries.
water frequently. So we keep agents relevant, right? And we all know that if you're in front of people consistently with good information, we're going to improve your numbers. Finally, we're going to prevent defection to portals, because what's happening today is consumers come to the agent's website, write down a listing address or MLS number, and then run to Zillow. And then studies show they never come back. So what we do for owners is similar stuff, consistently deliver good content, but we promote everything that is about Realty One Group. We deliver trackable, metrics, so you can see who's getting your recruiting content, who's opening up, who's your heavy hitters. And we're going to offer you guys an exclusive territory, because as you saw in the email I sent you that first piqued your interest, we only do this for brokerages that want to, take up a metro area and have it exclusive, because email addresses that we put in the system become exclusive to the agent or the owner that puts them in. It's what we call a first mover advantage. So email addresses can only be used once. This is the 5-pronged approach that I've been working for 19 years now. Build a new database, pipeline, nurture, give the agent intelligence on what's going on inside of your database. And as owners, you'll have, as an owner using our recruiting program, you'll have that intelligence on who you're trying to, bring into your fold. And then finally, protecting it. We already went through that. These are just some of the places where we go to build the agent's brand new database. So we go into Gmail, the iPhone, everywhere they have contacts, clean them up, take the duplicates out, run them through all sorts of filters and verification filters, and then hand the agent a list. Once they put the list in the system, it becomes exclusive. Nobody else can attack that list. So the newsletter, did you get a chance, Greg, to see the one I sent for you?
Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah, you sent me a couple of them.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a few short minutes. But then this is the agent one. Again, same great platform. We know how to get around spam filters. We know how to design email. And this is an example of one of the ROG agents that's using us up in Minneapolis, I guess. So what's important here is you'll see that green sold sign. That's our most widely clicked article. Everybody in the, in town wants to know what the house down the street sold for because they think their house is more valuable. So we go into RPR, we go everywhere, find out the most reliable data, and then put it into the newsletter. And when anybody clicks on those articles, Greg, the agent gets a text or an email. And you'd say, well, why do we care? Well, 40% of people that are banging on what's sold down the street are doing some kind of early stage research. And remember, the agent's in the home every 2 weeks, not once a month. So on this next one, you'll see this is how fresh our content is. I believe on Tuesday morning, the Consumer Product Safety Commission came out with a bunch of recalls, the largest being the Ring video doorbells. They just catch on fire, okay? And so 2 hours after that news broke, we had it. We were a crack team of editors. We put the content right in the articles, and any from there on out for the next 2 weeks, any newsletter that goes out has this as the first item. This is, practical home ownership. This is obviously safety and health, but related to the home in many ways. Here's another example how we customize the look and the feel of the newsletter. This is South Carolina somewhere, I think. Predictive metrics. Articles that when clicked send a signal to the agent. So we always ask an agent, wouldn't you want to talk to 20 people that are trying to find down payment money? Well, yeah, I would. Okay, we're going to tell you who just read this article in seconds because the agent gets a text or an email. And and I know agents need conversation starters, right? They don't mind picking up the phone or firing off an email, but they have to have something in common. And that's what we do. We let the agent know who clicked what. Biggest problem right now you guys are having is inventory, right? Probably.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, 7 out of 10 people, homeowning families that your agents know, have no idea how much equity they have in their home. They know it's good. Excuse me again, Greg. They know it's good, but they don't know how good. So they don't know how much money they get out of this house to put into the next house. So they're not going to list their house. So here's the agent being quite, proactive. Hey, I'll tell you what your house is worth. Once they click this article, I get a text or an email. I'll call you back and do a quick CMA. So what we do is we land interest from the newsletter back onto the agent's website, the CMA request form, contact me, whatever. This is something we just launched about 2 months ago. And the idea here is to help the agent score more PR points by supporting small mom and pop stores on Main Street. Okay. So no matter where the agent is, probably, unless it's a major metropolitan area, all they have to do is give us 6 or 7 or 10 small businesses that they like, that they frequent, and we'll build these promo pages for them. And they go out. I think Tom sends this out to 800 people every 2 weeks. So he's getting emails now from his clients just simply saying, hey, Tom, thanks for doing that. That was nice of you to be promoting, recovering these stores that are recovering from the coronavirus. So who knows what's going to happen next week, right? But
Yeah.
the idea is that we're able to help the agent build PR points. We already went through this one, email exclusivity, all the tracking, all the cool information, all the great hyper-local widgets are put right in the newsletter. We do everything for them. Social media game plan. In about 10 seconds, you can have an article on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. All automated, happens in seconds. Metrics, total transparency. This is the same screen that the agents that have our recruiting version will see also. So we know everybody that we sent stuff to, how many times they opened it, clicked it, multiple times. Over on the right, 58 total trigger articles. That's a conversation. 58 conversations we developed from this newsletter going out, and it looks just like this. So there's a whole metric section that lets the agent know whom they should contact pretty soon because they're engaged in this content. So if you look at that middle red arrow there, 28 people wanted to know what's sold down the street. 40% of those 28 are actively researching right now. So wouldn't you want to be in front of them more often with a phone call or an email? Hey, Jim, I haven't seen you in a while. I see you got my newsletter. Do you need any help interpreting that data? Boom, connection. That's what we're all about. I haven't sent you yet, but I will send you one of our Neighborhood 360s report. It's our response to Zillow's neighborhood information. We all know that consumers run to Zillow because they want to investigate schools and demographics and things like that. How's a neighborhood? Well, we have a neighborhood widget in here called Neighborhood 360. It covers 150 million street addresses. There aren't any more than that. Okay, and we know everything about what's going on in those neighborhoods down to where the bagel shop is, where the Petco stores are, where veterinarian doctors are. Okay. We got everything in this cool program I'll send it to you later on. We also have a What's My House Worth widget. This is the CoreLogic AVM, supposedly the most accurate one out there. As soon as somebody fills the address out, boom, the agent gets a text or an email, lets them know that this person wants to find out what their house is worth. You can't beat these kinds of leads, I guess you'd call them. I still call them conversation starters. Over on the right, you'll see they have to tell us why they want the reports. So the agent gets a little intel on it. This is something we just launched 4 weeks ago. As you know, everybody's trying to get into artificial intelligence, right? And most brokerages that have artificial intelligence, it revolves on catching people's behavior only in their domain, on their agent's websites or the main website. This is something totally different. What we do every night, Greg, is we take all the email addresses that the agent has in their HomeActions database and we blast it up against 1,000 predictive websites. We can go back in time and find out where people, listen to this one now. 6 months ago, Betty Jane bought a house. 6 months before that, this system and all of our data houses were tracking her behavior. Where was she buying stuff? What was she doing? Is she spending a lot of money? What websites was she visiting? Where did she use her email address? So what we do is we blast up the email address and we come back and say, if Betty Jane Williams is doing this, and this, and she bought this and she's throwing a lot of money around, chances are that something's going on in her life, a life change situation. We want to interject your realtor right there because there's something going on in her life and the agent can probably help her with the real estate part of it. Okay. So imagine this, Mrs. Williams taking prenatal vitamins. Mr. Wilson shopped on diapers.com last night for the first time. The Evanses have a dumpster in their driveway. There's a database of people who have a dumpster in their driveway today. We've got it. Somebody, how about this one? Somebody that bought 2 SUVs in the last month, 2 expensive SUVs. There's a database of that. We track all these databases and algorithms, and we come back and say, your clients are going to be between 18 and 40, 41 and 80, and 81 and 97. Don't worry about the 18 to 40s. They're not being found anywhere out there. The artificial intelligence isn't tracking them. So the idea is just send them your newsletter every 2 weeks. 41 to 80, yeah, their email has been seen, found on a couple different sources. Maybe they did a couple MLS searches early on, but really not engaged as much as the 81 to 97s. They're the ones that you want to log into your control panel. Every day we score these, Greg, and we're going to score them for free for the agent for the first 2 months. So what we've got here is the ability for the agent to come in and say, let's look at who I should talk to today, because the scores change over on the right. Sometimes the score goes from a 75 to an 85. That means there's something going on in that person's life today, right? I can't tell you specifically what it is. I'm just telling you, as they say in politics, trust the science. The artificial intelligence tells us what's going on inside of there. So we're going to give that to the agent. At this point, if we were in front of a bunch of agents, they'd say, hey, Al, how many houses am I going to sell if I buy this? And I give them the Zillow response, Greg, which is between 0 and 100. I have no idea. I can get you up to home plate. I can teach you how to hit the ball, but you got to swing the bat. So nurturing is an everlasting process. I don't have to tell you this stuff. At the end of the day, we know what to send, when to send, how to send it, and how to create these conversation starters. And we ask the agent to literally outsource all their relationship needs to us. We've been doing this for 19 years. And we're obviously we're endorsed by Realty One Group. We're their email marketing, partner. So there's 2 ways for individual agents to subscribe to our program. There's a monthly payment plan and a quarterly payment plan. What we normally do is if they went to our website, it'd be $129 for a setup fee. For Realty One Group, excuse me, it's $99. We could take that down to $50. We could take that down to $0. That's very fudgeable. $65 per month, not $75 per month, which is the average rate that you'll find on our website. They can cancel at any time. We do everything for them, from building the database, nurturing it, unsubscribing, protecting, growing, everything. The other way, which is the least expensive, is to go with the quarterly plan, no setup fee, $165 a quarter instead of $190 a quarter, and they save about $200 over the monthly fee. So very seldom do we get agents that get really engaged with us and we tell them what the money is. They're like, no problem. That seems quite fair for what we do for the agents every 2 weeks. So that's what we call the agent version, okay? So about 6, 7 months ago, I had a call from a Realty One broker in North Carolina out of Charlotte. His name is Tom Watson. I don't know if you know him or if you saw him on the bulletin boards, but let me go and show you what we built for him. No, that's not the one. Excuse me a second here. Recruiting. Oh, it's down here. Can you see that one now, Greg?
Yep.
The turning pages?
Yep.
Okay, so we know recruiting's a must for you guys, right? Half of the owners probably, they're actually selling half the time, and the other half the time they're trying to fill up the seats, right? Get people from competing brokerages into their office, at least for an interview or a chat. We know that trying to do that stuff is time consuming, seldom consistent. Brokers do it when they have time, or owners, I'll call them. You already have the content. So what we did was we went out to Realty One Group and we said, give us rights to all this content that you guys generate. We're going to put it into an e-newsletter format, and we're going to, bang it home for your owners. And we're going to be able to help them create this awareness, right? Because in most cities, Realty One Group is new. You've been around for what, a dozen years?
6 years.
6 years with ROG?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we have is the same idea as the real estate version. Okay. Same great delivery rates, powerful, technology behind this. Everything's backed up, the whole 9 yards. So we deliver emails like this every 2 or 3 weeks. Some want it to go every, 4 weeks. That's fine. So what we do is we take the ROG content, we burn it into a customizable template. We ask the agent, tell us how you want your, how do you want the first impression to look? And we give them all these options for the articles. So most of them just say, Al, you know what to put in, just go put it in. And I do that. They trust me with everything. So what we know is that I can't give you all the email addresses of your competing agents. So what the owners do is they go into broker metrics, they go into the MLS, they have some other services, and you pull out your wish list of best recruits you would love to have in your company. So other owners just simply went in and said, give me everybody in the MLS. Okay. And that's fun. That's fine. We do that. Here's the kinds of articles, that as soon as these articles get open, Greg, we could turn on alerts for you. Would you want to know when 10 people just read top 5 signs you need a new broker? Well, we've actually had owners that using our program pick up the phone and call the people that are clicking on these kinds of articles. Why? Just to introduce themselves, right? But it's a soft intro now. They've been getting these emails for a couple of weeks. So I'm not saying you have to call everybody. In fact, you probably can't, because look at the numbers of emails we're sending out for these agents, okay? 5,000, 5,600, 6,900 on the left. So that's Pittsburgh. Okay, ROG Sunshine, that's St. Petersburg, Florida. Yeah, St. Petersburg, Florida. She's got 3,000 going out. Now, granted, we don't get 100% open rates, but we're getting 30s and 40s for what is normally perceived as junk mail. But this isn't junk mail. This is somewhat educational, career-oriented. And yeah, there's a couple plugs for ROG. So who opened and what and when? Okay, every time the newsletter goes out, the owners are able to come in here, click these buttons. Now, some of them don't look at this. Some of them are jumping all over this, okay? Because this is live recruiting business, because we sent some newsletters out that had full of, informative content. That's the simple proposition. Please read my newsletter, because I always have something in there that's, beneficial for your career. So that is what we call some of the open reports. There's about 12 or 13 different reports that the owner has access to. Now, we provide ROG approved written design content. We just format it differently so it looks. But then every 2 weeks, the agent has the ability, the owner has the ability to come to us like the left bottom and say, hey, I'm opening up 2 offices. Tell everybody about that, right? So I think that one got like a 18% open rate just on that article, okay? Because it was just newsworthy that there's a new real estate company coming to town. I may work for Keller Williams. I may be happy at Keller Williams, but it's good to know that somebody else is growing up down the street. So over on the right-hand side here, you'll see these owners out of Philadelphia suburbs. They went to 3 mortgage companies, and the 3 mortgage companies are paying for this newsletter. Why? Because every edition features a new mortgage company. Okay, so Contour is, the mortgage company. 2 weeks later, when this goes out, it's a different mortgage company, but because they have 3 of them, and they're trying to build their own, by the way. So anyway, so the agent gets to control as much content as, or the owner can control as much content as they want. Some of them just say, let it and forget it. Okay. Some with 4,000 or 5,000 email addresses. They know that we're going to do a good job making them look good. Now, when I say exclusive, there's two types of exclusivity I'd like you to pay attention to. One is the metro-wide area that we call the first mover advantage. The first broker, whether it be Keller Williams or Century 21 or whatever, that comes to us and says, I want to do this brokerage thing, and I don't want anybody else hitting on my turf. So as of now, on the left-hand side, these all just happen to be Realty One Group owners and their areas they cover, and the fact that we will never do another recruiting newsletter in these areas, right? Because the email addresses are all gone of the good agents, right? See my point? First mover advantage, lock up. And so what we got is this little thing on the right here called Sacramento, Folsom, and Rockland. You've seen that before, right? So if you work with us, I can guarantee you that nobody else will be able to do a recruiting version to agents in those three areas, because email addresses can only be used once. We're going to lock them out. And if a Keller Williams comes to us after a year and says, hey, maybe I should do this, it's going to be fair game. But right now, my allegiance is with ROG offices, okay, throughout the whole country. So, and in fact, I think that in the first week in December, there's a email going out to every owner with this same PowerPoint. I don't know if you know Maka Hernandez, who's head of vendor relationships for ROG, but he's my insider there. And we go to, Cuba to get stuff approved. So the idea here is that we're going to have a promotion first week in December, first or second week, I think in December, on just this recruiting version, because we want to lock up as many metro areas as we can. So, if I had 100 metro areas, I'd have 1 million email addresses of agents locked up for ROG owners, right? Just follow the numbers. They're out there. So I don't know if you have the ability, Greg, to go into some system you have your hands on and build that magic list of email addresses.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's up to you. That's one thing we don't get into. Ethically, we can't provide you lists. You just got to send a list to us. And then, man, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somebody's making you look good. Now, the second kind of exclusivity is at the agent level, okay? What I'm not going to do, if we were able to work together, if you bought the accounting version or the recruiting version, and then you said, hey, this is good for my agents, let's do some Zooms. We lower all the prices for the agents, but then we promise the owner, you, that we will not go to any real estate company in a radius of about 10 miles of any of your three offices, okay? We're not going to go there. We're not going to sell this to them. Why? We want your agents to understand the first mover advantage of getting their email addresses in, cleaned up, and protected, okay? So Howard Hanna is a big powerhouse in Ohio and Pittsburgh and other parts on the East. We've got 500 of their agents on our platform. We're sending out 700,000 emails every month, verified, clicks, all sorts of conversation starters. 1, 2, 3, these agents are loving it because as big as Howard Hanna is, they don't have anything like this. That's why they get us into every one of their offices. So our goal is to help your unorganized agents do more business. We all know it's a numbers game, right? We don't have to, prove that. So if we can get, now the average ROG agent using our program, we've got about 150 of them, I believe has about 480 email addresses that we found for them, that we cleaned up and we put in. They could cancel at any time. Seldom do they, because we do such a smashing job at making them look good. So the goal here is to get your unorganized agents organized and protected and growing a pipeline. Because right now, were you guys on Moxie Engage or Sync? What were you using?
Yeah, Moxie.
You're using Moxie now?
No, Sync.
Oh, you're using Sync. Okay. Did any of the agents keep the old Moxie?
No.
No. Okay. Well, it would have been relevant because we're integrated with Moxie, and by the middle of January, we'll be able to sync the database between Sync and HomeActions. So both databases will be synced up. That's the power of the database, right? Because most of your agents just don't have one. And the reason that they're not using CRMs, and maybe they don't tell you this, but I hear it from them, personally, because I deal with them all the time. Al, I don't have any lists to put in my CRM. So with HomeActions, you certainly do. So if we build a list for your agents, we'll be able to take that list and we'll put it into Sync for them, okay? They may not know how to play with spreadsheets and XLS tables. We'll do that for them. And then in January, it's going to happen every night. All the contacts in HomeActions will go into sync. All the sync will go into HomeActions. Everybody's happy.
What, Albert, what do you get? Oh, here you go. Never mind. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is pricing for the recruiting version, okay?
Okay.
So it's a $149 setup time, or $149 one-time setup fee, and $89 per month for as many months as you want. Everybody that has this has had it since the beginning. They've not canceled, okay? Because when they look at the sheer numbers of impressions we're giving them every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they're flabbergasted. You know, where were you 5 years ago when I started doing this stuff?
Mhm.
So qualifies for an agent fee reduction. That means if you subscribe with us, Greg, at the recruiting level, your agents get an extra bonus, which is we drop the prices about $75 for them because we're playing with ROG Complete. Okay, so with that comes your recruiting version. And then what we can do is if you, do you also do your own sales, Greg?
No, not anymore.
Okay, well, what I can do then, I can build you a second account, not a second recruiting account, but a second agent account for free. We could put all your agents in there and drip on them. And then if they decide, if they like this, they buy it. It's a lot cheaper because you dealt with me at the top level.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: Where does it when these emails go specifically to the recruiting emails?
Yeah.
What email address do they come from?
Whatever you want. ROG Complete, Greg McClure,
Okay.
you know, the Hendricks team, whatever.
And then we don't have like a centralized recruiting. So how I do it is my manager in each of my office, Rockland, Folsom, Sacramento, they're responsible for their own recruiting.
Okay.
So
But
is
we
there
would
a
have
way
an
to-
article on the newsletter, Greg, that says, you know, if you want to reach out to us, here's our 3 points of contact.
But it's still going to come, like I saw in the header, it was kind of
From you.
specific to a specific person.
Or we can, you know, we could create, I don't like saying this because I'm the president of the company, but I can create 3 separate accounts, 3 recruiting accounts.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Does it have to be separate, or can you just change the content per list?
No,
Or
can't
It's
do,
separate.
it's not built
Okay.
that way.
All right.
And in
Gotcha.
retrospect, we should have maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but that's not something we're going to build now. So
No. Yeah,
I would, you know, cut them a better price or something like that if we do 3, but my idea was do 1 and then have, you know, maybe a box that says, hey, Folsom agents, hey, Rockland agents, hey, Sacramento agents.
Gotcha. Okay. That'd
All
probably
right.
work. We'd have to see what that looked like, but that'd probably work. Well, listen, I have to get on another call. I only had a half an hour, but I'm interested in the recruiting version. And I'll kind of use that as a little bit of a test pilot, and then we can get in front of our agents, maybe, you know, let's get this thing launched for me. Let's get it going. Let's
Yeah,
see
well,
what that looks
your
like.
account is built right now. I mean, you just need
Yeah.
to send me 100 or 5,000 contacts.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then, your newsletter can go out probably Monday or Tuesday if you wanted to.
Okay.
And then,
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, let's, well then could you build me kind of a mock-up what that might look like if we had different, you know, different offices, like something like that?
Yeah,
And
I'll put 3 different articles in your, I'll send it to you, you know, late tonight.
okay, perfect. Let's do that. And then
You want me to build you a second account for the Realtor account and we can put your agents in there and drip on them?
no, not yet.
Okay.
Let's kind of, I'd rather just do kind of this one step at a time, but it looks good. I think there's some value there.
Thank you.
I'm, you know, we've grown from, you know, 18 agents to 600 agents. So when it comes to recruiting, I do a lot of different things, and I'm always looking for opportunities to do more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this could be something that I like. So if you'll get that to me, I'll circle back with you Monday or Tuesday. I could have a list to you probably by Wednesday, Thursday. We could launch, you know, maybe
Yeah, and
the
then your
following week.
newsletter's on the street, you know, that afternoon.
Okay, perfect.
All right. And then we'll worry about your agents later on. But if you see value in this for yourself, it's the same idea for
Right.
agents. Okay.
Okay, sounds good, Albert. I
All right.
appreciate
Well,
it.
thanks for your time, Greg. And I'll send you something tonight.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.